Hello guys and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Greg and I'm going to be running you through my predicted lineup for our game against Norwich on Saturday. Now playing Norwich here is sort of our second easy or relatively easy game on the bounce, and it takes us into a very sort of cold and tough December period where we play Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Leicester in the Cup again and Arsenal all back to back. Which is going to be a rough run of fixtures. So you think this Norwich game is quite important. You think Marco Silva might get a bit of leeway in that December because just how brutal that fixture list is. But you'd think going off the back of a loss or a draw to Norwich would stand him in very bad stead. It would sort of change that narrative around him to being very negative going into that run. So that being said, let's look at player by player and see who we think is going to play in each position. So Jordan Pickford, I imagine, will always be playing in goal for us, whilst we don't have a better replacement for him. He obviously didn't play the last England international. Nick Pope was called up instead, but I think that was just in the case of squad rotation. I don't think that'll mean anything for where he stands in the Everton pecking order. And then Luca Dean at left back, I think, who is very lucky not to have taken a very bad injury during his international duties. He was on the receiving end of a horrible sort of scissor tackle in the box that could have come off a lot worse for him. But luckily for us, he rode the challenge well, and he'll be playing at left back for us again, I imagine. Yerry Mina at centre back alongside Mason Holgate, who really has come into the team, and amidst quite a lot of doubt. You know, a lot of people said, because it was when Mina was out, he came in. And people said, "Oh, he might be a decent replacement here, but I can't see him keeping his place when Mina comes back." But you know, he seems to have unseated Keane for a few games now. He's played very well. He's exceeded expectations for a lot of people, and he's sort of a part of this young player push that's coming into our squad with Holgate, Davies, Calvert-Lewin. I know Richarlison's always in the squad, but you know he's a young player, and it's quite important not to forget that. So I imagine Mina and Holgate again will start at centre back together, with Sidibe starting at right back. I still don't see a reason we drop him for Coleman. A great assist, 2 weeks back before the international break, but our last fixture. His early crossing into the box, I say this every week, but it's what Marco Silva likes. Overload the box, get the crosses in early, and he does that so much better than Coleman. His delivery, his attacking play is fantastic, Sidibe. He'll start in the squad, and I really hope Marcel Brands is on the phone to Monaco at the moment saying, let's try and make this thing permanent. And then in the middle of the park, I should have said earlier in the episode what we know about injuries. Delph and Bernard are still doubtful for this game, whereas obviously Andre Gomez and Jean-Philippe Gbamin are facing their longer term injuries and won't be back in the picture for a little while now. So that being said, that only really leaves us with Davies and Schneidlin. Davies, fantastic. Very happy with him staying in the squad. He's really impressed me. He takes a lot of flack from certain sectors of Everton support, but I think he's fantastic. His progressive passing is brilliant. He sort of plays this one-touch football, and he's captaining our under-21 side really well at the moment as well. He plays a sort of more anchoring role than Marco Silva gives him. But he does really well in that England setup, sort of anchoring the team. So I'd be interested to see him maybe play that role. Obviously, he won't be playing that next to Schneidlin because Schneidlin can only really play that anchoring role. But when we have more attacking midfielders back, I imagine that Tom Davies might be given a chance to play that sort of role between players coming back and Gbamin maybe coming back, where he'll take that position. So that being said, I then imagine Iwobi. Davies and Schneidlin, in case I didn't make that clear. Iwobi maybe at number 10. Had a good game for Nigeria in international break. Has only shown me good things, good progressive football. His off-the-ball movement's fantastic. Maybe he could contribute a few more goals and assists now, start to get his numbers up. But off the ball and creatively, he's fantastic. Sort of those things that the stats maybe don't show so much unless you sort of dig deep. The face value might not be so obvious. But I imagine that rounds off the midfield, Davies, Schneidlin and Iwobi, with a front line of Richarlison on the left, as unfortunately Bernard is still out, and Walcott on the right, because he's hit a little bit of form. Interested to see where it goes. And then maybe the toughest position, the toughest choice this week would be who starts up front. Obviously, Tosin started up front for us last week, off the back of some good substitute performances. Throw him up front from the start, see if he can replicate that form. I think it's maybe proven now he's more of a good impact substitute striker. But his name's obviously in the mix, having started last week. Richarlison started as number 9 for Brazil, and then came on in the second game as a number 9 for Brazil. So maybe he's sort of proved his number 9 role and what he can do. Moise Kean scored 2 goals for Italy's under-21s. Maybe a shout to be back in the team. But I don't think it'll be any of them, and I think Marco Silva will go back to his old reliable Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which I don't mind so much. I've sort of been looking at the stats around Calvert-Lewin, and he seems to be doing some really good things at the moment with sort of expected goals, and a lot of people aren't a fan of expected goals, but what he's doing with the chances he's given, which aren't really that many chances. So Calvert-Lewin will probably finish off that front line. So that being said, let's have a look at the team. That's Pickford in goal, a back line of Sidibe, Mina, Holgate and Dean, a midfield of Davies, Schneiderlin and Iwobi, and a front line of Walcott, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. This is a really important game for us, seeing as what we have to get into in December. So let's just hope these players can get 3 points and give us some sort of points padding going into that December period. Let me know what you guys think about the lineup. I know there's a few positions that could be swapped around. Iwobi for Sigurdsson maybe. Moise Kean up front. I know a lot of people are calling for that. I'd definitely have him on at some point in this game, earlier than the 75th, 80th, 71st minute. Give him some proper minutes. So maybe Iwobi out left, Moise Kean up front, Sigurdsson central attacking midfield role. Let me know if you guys would prefer that, what you guys think, and I will see you next time.